again, we have an award committee who going to do a selection on the 3 nominees. We have Piet, studied macroeconomics at the University of Amsterdam, already have a career of 25 years now, and currently he is member of the Dutch Institute for Financial Disputes, member of the Disputes Resolution Committee of the European Payments Council, and also non-executive board member. Annette Steenbergen, we also have the same hairdresser, but that's a secret. After many years working in international boarding management, Annette is also co-founded and co-initiated the Aruba Happy Flow project in 2013. But still nowadays you can find there are all kinds of events talking about EID wallets. And she was also awarded for the Women in Biometric Awards in 2020. Alexander van den Waal-Baken, also winner of last year, so then you also are obliged to take part in the award committee. Business consultant, SSI by TNO, and currently Alexander is happy camper if he can deliver the impossible for both customers and organizations, forming new collaborations across organizations. And last but not least, also, I think you already supported IDnext for a lot of years, Marijke Salters, advisor digital transformation. During her career, Marijke focused on innovation, started with AI, and in the late 90s until recently development of the Dutch e-wallet based on IDAS 2. And recently she changed jobs and joined the CIO platform community in the Netherlands. So that's going to be our award committee. But most important, we have 3 nominees. And if I'm going to press the button, here they are. And normally I do an introduction, but I won't, because that's up to the 3 nominees. Which will have a 3-minute pitch, where after the pitch, the award committee would be asked to sit over there and to ask some questions in order to get more clarity about their pitch. So the first one is going to be, and we didn't set up front, but Anna, you're going to be the first one to come here up. So will you please come up here, give him a big hand.
Yeah, great. Thank you all for having me. And what an honor to follow Andrea. Pretty difficult to follow with our pitch, but I'll do my best. This morning, Esther sketched a pretty fair but pretty gloomy picture of the participation in non-government organizations in the European digital identity. I think it's fair. I think a lot of the focus has been on government use cases, and that's also where we see a lot of the potential. But it's very important not to forget the impact that the market can have on implementing digital identity. So most of the use cases that we will see will involve some sort of issuing or verifying party. And one of the biggest obstacles they face right now is not just that legislation is unclear, but also that it's practically impossible right now for a regular company to become an issuer or a relying party technically. It's very, very difficult. I mean, I've been working in digital identity for 5 years already, and every single organization who has talked to us about implementing this technology has had to become an expert on digital identity themselves to even get a credential issued. That's why this year we've been working on creating Paradym, our SaaS solution, which really makes it the easiest possible for organizations to start issuing or verifying credentials. So technical solutions have already progressed pretty far. So you would think in theory that this would already be pretty easy, but all of the draft specifications, the in-development technology really mean that it is still very difficult. With Paradym, we've managed to create a platform where it's just as easy to integrate identity solutions or EUD identity standards as it is to integrate payments, for example, with Stripe. So it's a regular API. Any developer, any student developer can use it to actually build the solution. It comes with a dashboard, also very great for usability, an API, and an open and free wallet solution as well, which we're currently testing as well, for example, against the LSPs. So really, it is constantly being iterated against the current solutions. It has a bunch of features, but the most important thing is that with Paradym this year, we've been keeping pace with the ARF. So as soon as something got changed in the ARF or a new draft got released of a specification, we immediately integrated it into the platform, meaning that if you want to become an issuer or relying party now, you can do it. With a wallet that's compliant with the ARF, with an issuer or verifier API that's compliant with the ARF. So we've basically done this to really stimulate the market to participate in this conversation, to stop waiting for government use cases, to stop waiting for everything to happen for them, but to really start building and giving their perspective as well. Our goal with Paradym is to make it as easy, affordable, and straightforward to actually participate in this dialogue for the market solutions. And we're really proud of it, and we think we've really managed to achieve that as well. So thank you all.
Anna, I've got a question for you. Of course, from an adoption point of view, you focus now on corporates. But we should also focus on user, I think. So how do you incorporate user privacy in the Paradym solution?
I think basically, it's on a large part, it's in our wallet solution. So our wallet solution has security and privacy based on the highest level. So it came out of the Sprint project, which maybe you use, which means that it needs to be kind of compliant on a government level of privacy and security, which we also try to be able to make up to date so that any commercial party using Paradym will immediately have access to a user solution or wallet that's up to the highest level and not just the quickest or easiest route to get verified.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, and also one other thing. I think something we're really happy with also currently, because we didn't notice at first, but then we saw a lot of interest in it and implemented it as well, is that you can host Paradym as an on-premise solution, which really makes data management also a lot more options to kind of make it as compliant with any privacy regulations in your company that you would like. And this has also had a big impact on user privacy. We've noticed just the ability to have it as an on-premise instead of a managed cloud solution.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you. You mentioned being aligned with the LSPs. Are you participating in the LSPs? Or can you give some examples of maybe POCs you're involved in, or use cases you've already operationalized?
Yeah, so we are with our wallet solution, we're not in an LSP, but through the Sprint project, we're testing with the existing potential LSP in the use cases of e-prescription, banking, and what's the third one we're in? In driver's license, the mobile driver's license. So one example, for example, is that with the current mobile driver's license flow, we're testing getting the official German driver's license into the Paradym wallet. And also with e-prescriptions, it's the other way around. So we're testing with a verifier of a pharmacy who is participating in the potential LSP, who is then verifying the PIT from the Paradym wallet.
You mentioned you have a platform and SaaS. So I was wondering, you mentioned also the API. So do you have to use both, or do you only use the API as buying your solution? What's the option?
Yeah, what we currently have is the real core of it is the API, which is developer focused, but as I said, not identity developer focused. We have the dashboard to create credentials and to create the verifications you want to execute, which means that you can kind of have your designer or your marketing or a business person to enter the dashboard and design with logos and everything the type of credentials and verifications they want to do. To actually integrate it into their solution, they will need to use the API.
All right. Good morning. Another Andrea from Italy again. Andrea Rossi is the quintessential Italian name, so I'm not hiding myself for cybersecurity purposes. I'm an old chap, so it's quite funny pitching a startup. But yes, I did another startup starting this year. I'm not on the credential verification side. I'm more of a traditional identity governance side. That's what I'm talking about. First of all, let's start about the company name. The pronunciation is IAMONES, and it's a combination of I Am and the Ramones band, a punk band of the 80s, which I've always been in love to. Age is just a number. I'm 56, 57 actually. My co-founder is 24, 23. So that's the type of profiles you need to bring in startups if you want to tame the large language model beast. So the goal of the company is basically built to address few original pain points of the identity governance administration world. The first one is, no matter what you're implementing, users are lost in translation. They don't really get what the system suggests. The second is, there is an untapped wealth of knowledge, a lot of documented knowledge, which could be useful in reasoning, if only it could flow into the system. And last but not least, as an identity guy, I was sick and tired of being told by my cyber friends, you're not really helping the cyber cause. So there's been a change ingredient. All right, this is not counting in my 3 minutes, right? Because, all right, I promise I'll be using just one time the AI word in my presentation because I hate it. The key ingredient that is reshaping a lot of stacks are large language models. They are very good in understanding natural language, in a way redesigning UI, and they are very good on resonating on instructions you give them. And there is a wide availability in the market of general purpose model. So when we built the company IAMONES, we set ourselves a very simple mission. Everything in our system is done using conversational language, natural language, on the asking side of things, but also on the configuration side of things. We gave a name to this stuff. We just called it conversational identity or conversational IAM. Now, we built a platform. Yeah, there is technology. It's going to be visible in a quick demo. 60 seconds that you will see. It collects data from legacy identity silos. There is a lot of wealth of information in on-prem legacy silos that can be brought to life using large language model ingredient. So this is the platform. It's a combination of SaaS for the brain and on-prem for the data. We respect a lot the data sovereignty that you might need to put in our platform. Now, hopefully, the system will run a quick...
Hi, meet IAMONES, revolutionizing identity security with new AI ingredients. Are your users lost in translation, trying to find the right permission? User interface is a conversational chatbot. Just ask questions using your natural language, your words in your mother tongue. IAMONES is your identity memory mate, featuring question history and feedback collection capabilities, allowing you to adapt quickly to what users are looking for. Instruct the IAMONES platform using natural language. Describe policies, workflows, and other instructions with your mother tongue. Your PDF and Word documents can now fuel our retrieval augmented generation engine as they are, no edits. IAMONES' identity brain, powered by large language models, can learn and resonate on your documents. Welcome to IAMONES, the generative identity platform. Make identity fly.
All right, so the typical client scenario is an augmentation scenario. So with us, you jump from the landline to 6G. So bringing conversational capabilities on top of your existing data, your provisioning system that you might not want to touch. Why we started this company? It's, I'm struggling today with this clicker. We started this company because I think there's going to be a disruptive journey with this new AI ingredient, large language model. And I think most of you have seen, I was here during the first age of identity governance. I was there because I built a company called Cross Ideas and sold to IBM in the identity governance age. And I think that large language model will revolutionize as a new ingredient most of the technology stacks. Identity governance is a translation business, so it applies very well to our specific domain. Having said that, that's what we do. If you want to try it out, the platform, that's the internet address. Otherwise, I have pins just made out of the factory if you are interested to get one of those. The company has been built this year, 2024, so we're quite young. Thank you, and thank you for the extra 1 minute. No, I don't take questions. No comments.
Okay, thank you. Can you explain what would be the trigger for the end user to use your system?
Say it again, what is the
trigger for end users to use IAMONES?
It's basically two. Users are expecting something simple. Today, the identity management system, it's a human that has to adapt to an interface. Now it's an interface that adapts to humans because you just express your problem in natural language, which is typically how a lot of users within the companies are expressing their issues of, I need that permission to run that stuff. They do it in natural language. On the configuration side, instead of going from hours or months of days of configuration and waiting for an SOD policy to become reality, you just write it as a statement in natural language. So it benefits also the administration and the reactivity of implementing security controls without having to wait months of technical configuration. These are the two pillars of benefit.
I think it's a very nice idea, but formal language was developed because you prevent misunderstanding. So how do you prevent misunderstanding? Because it's to do with authorization.
So your question is, how do you ensure that that natural language is properly understood? That's what you're saying. Yeah, there is no magic here. With large language model, you need to tell them things in a very precise and detailed way. So we're moving from a world of coding, where you have specifications, someone reading specs, writing code, then moving to the system, to a world where the instruction is written in natural language, but it has to be clear and precise, though. But I think you will appreciate that the change from writing C++ code and moving to where you instruct the system with a very descriptive natural language description, it's way easier. What I'm envisioning is that IAM consultants will have to become very good in writing documents, and clients too, over time. Not just for identity. I mean, this ingredient is reshaping any software stack in the market today. As I said, we are specifically fit for that because identity governance is a translation issue of technical entitlements and the business description or expression from the end user on the other side.
I've got one question left. What kind of large language model are you using? And the reason behind this question is that, well, we all know that we need to be independent of Russian gas, Chinese rare earth metals, and also US larger platforms. So what LLM are you using?
So first of all, we call our LLM, the fine-tuned LLM for identity, the identity brain. Actually, we're not using any specific LLM. So we took the problem of identity and we made smaller LLMs which can be roamed across LLM. Today, we are using for one task GPT-4o via API. I need to make it clear. Okay, all the issues of hallucination and data stealing is when you go through ChatGPT, when you use the model in enterprise security, you go via API. So today, we're using GPT-4o and Anthropic. These are the two best models for reasoning, okay? We're now in the process of building our own vertical fine-tuned LLM using Mistral and Llama 70 billion, which will allow larger clients to host their LLM and to be even more isolated. But only few clients will be allowed to run these models for inference purposes, so running at execution time, because the cost of running GPUs is very expensive. But you know, our model is designed to be portable and not bound to any specific LLM.
Okay. Big hand to Andrea.
Okay, super.
So Timo, up to you.
Hello everyone. My name is Timo. I'm co-founder, CTO of IDnext and Paradym. but today I'm here to represent Credo. Credo is an open source TypeScript framework that I, as a contributor, with a lot of other contributors, have been working on for the last 5 years. It's a project that is hosted under the Open Wallet Foundation, which is a foundation that hosts a lot of code related to digital agents, wallets, and whatever we are building with the EU digital identity, but it's more global, so it also has involvement from companies from Canada and America and Asia. So it's a global foundation, and there we are hosting this framework, which implements a lot of the digital identity standards, a lot from the EU digital identity, but also from others. So we implement receive verify credentials, we implement ISO MDL, we implement openly verify credential issuance, verifiable presentations. We've recently implemented openly federation. So everything you need to build the infrastructure for digital identity. And how it is set up is that we have core libraries, and you can integrate these into different platforms. So you can integrate it into a server-side environment, which we use and others also use to build issuers and verifiers or cloud wallets. But you can also implement it into a mobile React Native application, making it available for iOS and Android, which we use for building mobile wallets. So all the different aspects you need in building, well, the end-to-end solution that uses digital verifiable credentials, it can offer. And what that helps with is that you can share basically 80% of your code, which makes it a lot quicker to implement all the standards, because you integrate them once and you can reuse a lot of that logic across your infrastructure. We did a lot of work in 2024, and it's quite cool that there's a lot of organizations and government that are funding work to extend this framework, which then becomes available to everyone. So we have been funded as the framework by the government of Ireland, for example, to extend it, who are also using it in their wallet. We have been funded by the government of Canada to add stuff to this for the Canadian ecosystem. Recently, we've been part of a German government project to build a prototype for an eID wallet, in which everything is open source, and all the core of that is also added to the framework. And due to that, we've been able to add a lot of the standards related to eID, so different credential formats, exchange protocols, hardware-backed cryptography on mobile devices, all these kind of things. Why Credo? Well, why is there is an open source community behind it that has been building for 5+ years. So like we as Animo are a big contributor to it, but we are not the only ones. It's being used by governments from Asia. The government of Bhutan is using it. It's being used by the government of Ireland now to build their wallet. It's being used by the government of Canada. But we're also working with a lot of private organizations that are using it. And that's why we think there's a good community here in building on something that is open. It's not commercial. Everybody can use it. They can fork it if they don't like it. And yeah, so that's why we think Credo is a good contestant for the Innovation Award.
Thank you very much. Can you explain what's the business model of your solution?
So Credo has no business model. It's open source and free to use for everyone. We have, like as Animo, provided paid consultancy to add things. So that's governments and organizations can fund money and they will add features to it, but then it becomes free for everyone. So, but the framework itself is free to use and there's no business model behind it. Okay.
What is Credo's vision for the future? What will Credo look like in 2034? What are you doing?
So for the future is we want to make it easier. Like over the past 5 years, we've been adding a lot of different features, and that is nice. But the landscape is so complex that we need to start basically adding another layer on top of the framework that abstracts all these different standards. Because we used like you exchange credentials and you have a credential format, but there's like 4 credential formats and there are 6 exchange protocols. It's like it's not doable anymore. So 2025, we're really focusing on how can we make it easier to integrate, and that you don't have to be an expert on all these levels and different standards that are involved. But yeah, that's what we really want to focus on in the future, that it becomes adaptable by people that are not experts.
I thought there were no questions. There was another question. So I was just trying to endorse you because how do you deal with the frustration that all the standards are not yet there for the e-wallet?
Yeah, it's complex, but there's just not a lot of final specifications, but there are a lot of draft specifications. And so we implement, and then we adapt, and then we have to re-implement, and that's the cycle. But that actually gives us in a very good position to also give feedback on all these different standards, because they write something, we implement them, we're like, oh, this doesn't make sense. Then we learn from that, and then when the final specification does come out, we already have basically 90% of it. So it is sometimes a frustrating process, but I kind of have fun with it, so that helps.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you for your speech. So that means also that the award committees now are going to think about the next couple of, 1.5 hours to come to a decision. We're going into the Identity Innovation Awards Ceremony. The award is over there, and I think Annette is going to... Is it? Yeah? Yeah. I'm seeing people nodding. So I'm giving you the mic, and it's up to you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Robert. Well, we really enjoyed it, I think. Everybody, the jury is nodding to do this. And we'd like to give a compliment to all 3 startups. All 3 were really, really good. But we had to assign a winner and a third place, and a second place and a third place. So here goes. Number 3 is IAMONES, with compliments for the great name, first of all, and a great initiative that shows a lot of possibilities. Using LLMs and using different LLMs. We really like that, and wish IAMONES a lot of success. The one little thing we thought was we didn't get a full answer on how it works with compliancy because of using different LLMs. So, but that is probably one that will be solved, I'm sure. Then. Tromgeroffel. How do you say that in English? Drum roll, drum roll. Thanks, Alexander. Yeah. Indeed, applause for IAMONES. Drum roll. We awarded the number 2 to Paradym. We think it's a must-have initiative. It's pivotal to get the IDnext Ecosystem on the road, going. Any SME will need to use it. We know you're not yet the only one, which is a good thing. And we hope you get a lot of competition, which is also a good thing. And lead the way with this. So that, indeed, a big applause. Which I still have to look into that corner, and makes Credo the winner of the award for this IDnext 2024. Yes. The jury thinks this is a bit of a macro perspective, but this is a critical initiative to collect the open source software, and if we ever want to reach any kind of global interoperability, which is in the end what we strive for, this is critical. We need this. So we wanted to say, please make it sustainable, make it durable, become an institution, and we hope to hear a lot about what you're doing wherever we show up in the world. Thank you. There is not yet an office building for Credo yet, of course, but who knows, in the future it will be there. Yeah. And then I want you to give this a special place.
Yeah, thanks very much.
much. Yeah, no, thanks everyone for the innovation. I think me and all the other contributors will be very happy with this award, and it will probably motivate us to keep working to make it better for everyone.
Congratulations.
I'm super excited. Yeah, I mean, we've been working on Credo, the framework, for 5+ years now, and to get some recognition for the work we've been doing, not just me, but all the contributors, that's, yeah, it's feeling great. Credo is an open source framework, which means it's free to use for everyone and can be used by anyone in any way they like. That allows you to build digital identity solutions compliant with EU digital identity standards, but also other standards around the world.